Most people think millionaires build AI startups, launch luxury brands, or invent the next billion-dollar app. But here's something surprising. The person quietly making the most money in your city might own a dumpster company, or a bookkeeping firm, or a laundromat you've walked past 100 times without noticing. Here's the first pattern I found, in the first 20 seconds, because you shouldn't have to wait for it. Every business on this list makes money because customers come back automatically. That's the whole secret. Recurring problems create recurring paychecks. Now, let me show you 15 completely different businesses that all use it. And by the end, I'll tell you exactly which one I'd buy with $10,000 and which one I'd buy with $10 million. Let's begin. Imagine earning $400,000 a year selling something nobody has ever dreamed of owning. A dumpster. Nobody wakes up excited to rent a dumpster. That's exactly why it's a great business. Every renovation, roofing project, estate cleanout, and construction job creates the same unavoidable problem. Where does all the waste go? They don't sell dumpsters. They sell convenience. One container generates revenue over and over, rented to different customers throughout the year. The real opportunity isn't collecting trash. It's becoming the company every contractor calls before the project even starts. Here's the weakness, though. One truck can only be in one place at a time. Now let's move from hauling away waste to managing the numbers behind every business. Bookkeeping. Most entrepreneurs love making money. Very few enjoy organizing it. Bookkeepers don't just organize numbers, they remove mental clutter. And unlike a one-time project, bookkeeping repeats every single month, automatically, for as long as the business keeps operating. The customer isn't paying for spreadsheets, they're paying for peace of mind. Notice what's happening. Two completely different industries, one identical model underneath. The problem never fully goes away, so neither does the paycheck. Let's talk about commercial property cleaning, an industry built on the simple, unavoidable reality that dirt always comes back. While beginners chase one-off driveway jobs, professionals build scalable empires by securing recurring contracts with hotels, shopping centers, and property managers. The goal isn't asking who needs cleaning today, it's asking who owns 50 properties that need service every year. This industry isn't about the pressure washer or the ladder. Equipment can be bought overnight. Real wealth comes from trained teams, predictable demand, and earning long-term trust. If your business relies on you physically showing up, you don't own a business, you own a job. The machine isn't the asset, the contract. Let's look at essential service and location-based businesses that turn everyday necessity into steady cash flow. Nobody attends a festival hoping to admire the portable restrooms, but every construction site, concert, wedding, and marathon needs them. Most people think the restroom is the business. Wrong. The logistics are. Delivery, cleaning, scheduling, pickup. Those systems, not the equipment, determine profitability. Some of the highest margin local businesses today are winning simply because they solve the ultimate modern dilemma: pet-parent guilt. Think about it. Busy professionals work 12-hour days, but they feel terrible leaving their dogs at home. Enter the modern pet care business. Whether it's weekly daycare subscriptions or routine grooming, pet owners aren't just paying for a clean dog or a daily walk, they're buying a clean conscience. Once a pet owner trusts you with a member of their family, they almost never switch. That trust turns one-off visits into years of predictable, automatic revenue. Let's move to vending and automated retail, an industry where profit isn't about what you sell, but where you put it. You're probably thinking vending machines are a snack business. They're not even close. They're a location business. The same machine placed in an empty warehouse loses money. Placed inside a busy hospital, factory, or university, it becomes valuable. Machines can be replaced. A premium location can't be copied. Most people see a cash machine. Successful operators see recurring foot traffic. Here's a stat worth remembering. Routes that pair an ATM with a vending machine at the same stop routinely out-earn two separate routes combined because density beats distance. One customer, one trip, two income streams.
Let's talk about a business where value isn't about what you keep on the shelf, but how fast it moves. Equipment rental. Think about it. Would you hand over $5,000 for a machine you're only using for 72 hours? Of course not. You rent it. Smart founders know this game. They don't obsess over buying assets. They obsess over utilizing them. After all, a piece of equipment sitting in a warehouse isn't generating wealth. It's just holding your capital hostage. The smartest founders don't build heavy infrastructure. They leverage someone else's. Let's reframe how you think about laundromats. What if you didn't own a single machine, but still captured the profit? By letting someone else hold the asset while you own the customer. Look at who uses these services. Local gyms, short-term rentals, busy professionals. They aren't looking for clean clothes. They're trying to buy back their weekend. The most defensible businesses today don't own the bricks and mortar. They own the audience. If you walk into a laundromat on a Saturday morning, nobody looks excited. Nobody wants to do laundry. But that's the golden rule. Needs beat wants every single time. Just remember, essential doesn't mean effortless. Pick the wrong neighborhood, ignore aging hardware, or miscalculate utility spikes, and that cash flow dries up quickly. Sometimes the most valuable business doesn't own the infrastructure. It owns the customer. That's actually the mistake one of my friends made for years. I'll tell you exactly what happened to him and how his friend built something completely different with the same starting point, because it changes how you'll see every business we've covered so far. The most profitable pivot a business can make is moving from transactional to habit forming. Picture this. A guy buys a rundown car wash for $350,000. It's struggling, inconsistent, and completely dependent on sunny weather. Instead of spending thousands on new equipment, he changes one thing. He stops selling washes and starts selling memberships. Fast forward 3 years, his revenue has nearly doubled, and he hasn't spent a dime acquiring new foot traffic. He's not washing cars faster, and he's not working weekends. He realized what every great founder eventually learns. A customer who buys once is a transaction. A customer who stays is a business. Sometimes the best business model isn't built on high engagement, but on high friction. Think about self-storage. People happily swipe their cards month after month to store boxes they might not open for years. It sounds crazy at first, until you remember the sheer nightmare of packing up a truck and driving to a dump. That inconvenience creates something every investor craves: effortless retention. Storage operators aren't just in the real estate business. They're selling peace of mind. And as long as moving remains a headache, those monthly checks will keep rolling in. Some of the most lucrative cash flow machines don't rely on hype. They rely on simple spatial gravity. Think about a parking space. What other asset can you sell over and over again without ever having to restock a single warehouse? Every morning, the car leaves, the space opens, and you're ready to monetize it all over again. It's a pure game of location and scarcity. And long before startup hype or flashy disruption comes along, pure scarcity will win every time. Once you understand how location traps demand, you start to see how all high-retention, asset-backed businesses connect. The ultimate cheat code in business is solving problems so urgent that price sensitivity completely disappears. If you miss this concept, you're doomed to compete on low prices forever instead of high trust. Picture a crowded dining room on a Friday night, and suddenly the kitchen drains overflow. Every single minute that kitchen isn't cooking food, money is bleeding out the back door. Do you think that restaurant owner is shopping around for a discount plumber? Not a chance. They pay for speed, execution, and peace of mind. The most clever entrepreneurs lock in these clients before the disaster happens by monetizing trust. The secret to building a high-margin B2B business is finding the smallest component with the highest cost of failure. Think about a simple metal bracket or a molded plastic housing. Individually,
They seem insignificant, but collectively, they're mission critical. What happens when that tiny part is delayed? An entire factory floor goes silent, workers sit idle, and thousands of dollars evaporate every hour. Manufacturers aren't stupid. They aren't trying to squeeze every cent out of cheap parts. They're paying for peace of mind. They pay for consistency because they literally cannot afford the alternative. When you become the vendor who guarantees that continuity, you're not just a supplier anymore. You're essential infrastructure.
The best-kept secret in business is that you don't need a groundbreaking idea. You just need a franchise. We're conditioned to glorify disruptive startups, but in reality, customers don't care about originality. They care about reliability. When you open a franchise, you aren't just buying a logo to put on the door. You're buying a shortcut past the years of costly trial and error that wipe out most independent businesses. The fastest way forward isn't trying to reinvent the wheel. It's buying a wheel that already works and driving it better than anyone else nearby. Most entrepreneurs ask, what business should I create? Experienced investors ask a different question. Which business already works? This is it, the mind-blown moment. Buying an existing business is the only move on this entire list that hands you all 4 traits on day 1. Customers who already return, systems already running, assets already earning, and contracts already signed. Every business we've covered today, the dumpster company, the cleaning firm, the laundromat, the parking lot, someone else already built it. And many of those owners are retiring, moving, or simply ready to sell. The next millionaire in your city may not invent the next billion-dollar company. They may simply buy an ordinary one and run it a little better. Earlier, I promised you this. Which of these 20 would I buy with $10,000, and which with $10 million? With $10,000, I'd buy a route, not a building. A small vending or ATM route already placed in busy locations, because the entry cost is low, the machines already exist, and density does the heavy lifting from day 1. With $10 million, I'd buy an established multi-location service business already generating cash flow, with a general manager in place. At that size, you're not buying a job. You're buying all 4 traits already working together, and enough scale that the business runs whether you show up or not. Same formula, different altitudes. So what does this actually look like in real life? Imagine 2 people standing at the exact same starting line. Both want financial freedom, both have ambition, both work hard. Only one understands the lesson hidden inside every business we've covered today. Let me tell you about Evan and Caleb. A few years ago, 2 friends decided they wanted to become entrepreneurs. Both were smart, both worked hard, both had saved some money. Both wanted the same thing, freedom. But they took completely different paths. Every few months, Evan chased another exciting idea. A new product, a new website, a new logo, a new marketing strategy. Every project started with excitement. Then reality arrived. Advertising got expensive, competition appeared, sales slowed. So Evan went searching for the next big opportunity. Each year he worked incredibly hard, but each year he found himself starting over. Caleb approached entrepreneurship differently. Instead of asking, what should I build, he asked, what already works? He spent months studying ordinary local businesses, not because they looked exciting, but because customers kept returning. He noticed the commercial cleaning company down the street had served the same office buildings for nearly 15 years. The bookkeeping firm had clients who hadn't switched accountants in over a decade. The laundromat never looked busy enough to be impressive, yet every weekend the parking lot was full. None of these businesses looked glamorous, but every one of them had something far more valuable than attention: habits. Customers who returned every month, every week, sometimes every single day. Eventually, Caleb found a small cleaning company whose owner wanted to retire. Before making an offer, he asked questions most first-time buyers never think to ask. Why do customers stay? How many clients renew each year? Which employees are essential?
Which contracts generate most of the profit? Where are the biggest operational risks? Only after understanding the business did he decide whether it was worth buying. He wasn't purchasing cleaning equipment. He was purchasing trust, relationships, systems, predictable cash flow. 5 years later, Evan had launched 6 different businesses. Some made money, some failed. Each one required another fresh start. Caleb still owned one company, but it looked very different from the day he bought it. He improved customer communication, added maintenance plans, reduced unnecessary travel between job sites, introduced better scheduling software, and expanded into neighboring towns. His revenue didn't grow because he found a revolutionary idea. It grew because he steadily improved a business customers already depended on. That's a lesson most people never hear. You don't always build wealth by inventing something extraordinary. Sometimes you build it by making ordinary things work extraordinarily well. So before you chase the next brilliant business idea, pause. Ask yourself 5 questions. Does this solve a problem people will still have 5 years from now? Will customers need the solution repeatedly? Can the business eventually operate without depending entirely on me? Does it own something valuable? A customer relationship, a route, a location, a specialized skill, or a system? And finally, if I disappeared for a month, would this business still create value? Because that's the real difference between owning a job and owning a business. Today, we looked at completely different companies: dumpsters, cleaning, bookkeeping, laundromats, storage, parking, franchises, business acquisitions. On the surface, they couldn't be more different. But underneath, they're all solving the same problem. They remove a recurring responsibility from someone else's life. That's the principle quietly creating millionaires in cities all over the world. Not hype, not trends, not viral ideas. Reliable solutions to reliable problems. So here's the question I want you to answer. Which of these businesses surprised you the most? Pause the video for a second. If you had to buy just one of these tomorrow, which one would it be? Drop it in the comments. The businesses we covered today weren't successful because they were exciting. They won because they followed the right principles. Personal finances work exactly the same way. In my next video, I break down the single phrase that kept one person trapped financially for years. And chances are you've heard it before. Click here before you accidentally let it shape your future too. Subscribe to Wealth Finder.